you had a lot to say about Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you talk about that often.
I do.
So I want you to tell our listeners your thoughts on it, because it can kind of be a love-hate relationship that you have with how much is publicly out there. So tell us about
Yes.
that a little bit.
Yes. Great question. My mom was always like anti breast cancer awareness because she's like, I think we're all aware of breast cancer. Like everyone knows what it is. So why do we have the month? And like, she'd be like, don't anyone buy me a pink ribbon. Like I will not wear it kind of thing.
Hmm.
But to me, and I'm sure your listeners can relate if they've lost a parent on Mother's Day, Father's Day, like it's just slapping you in the face where you
Yeah.
walk sometimes. And like I was shopping at our shopping center and they literally have pink ribbons and pink lights everywhere for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The signs like 1 in 4 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their life. And I'm like, do you want to
like, I fucking know.
Exactly. I'm very aware. Should you add how many die from that? Like, and I know it's like me just being bitter, blah, blah, blah. But it is like, oh, October. No, I have to listen to all this. And every fucking company has pink for breast cancer awareness. This limited edition shoe is pink because it's
Yeah.
breast. And so it's almost like a Mother's Day, Father's Day, where it's like it's slapping you in the face every 5 seconds. And then also, and again, this is me being like dark humor, I get to watch all the commercials of everyone saying like their survivor stories. And I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yes.
Thanks for reminding me,
Yes.
guys. My mom didn't make it, but cool.
Yes. So I resonate with that a lot. And it actually like really comforts me to hear you say that, because I have
I'm
similar.
just being an asshole.
No, I mean, I have similar situations, and right, it made me feel like I was just like a total asshole for it. But I guess this is just like a common thing in grief. For me, my dad died at the hospital that I work at. And my job in PR is to put out success stories and how our doctors have saved people and have helped people. And it was really hard for me to continue it and be like, but they couldn't save him. Like, why?
Wow.
Why is it this person and not my dad? And that's fucking horrible of me to say.
Exactly.
Like, I would never wish on another person and another family to go through what I've been through and, losing somebody that close to me. So it's not that I would ever wish it on somebody else, or that it's more okay for another person to have lost their life than my dad. But it's just really hard to, like you say, like to celebrate the people that are survivors, or celebrate the people that were saved from their heart attack. And in my dad's case, when that story didn't end that way for you.
I know. It's tough, but I guess it's just part of it. But
do you have
like,
any relationship or have any charities or anything that you feel strongly about, or that you donate to, or anything that your mom was a part of?
No, I'm again an asshole in that way too.
No, I don't think first of all, I don't think a lot of people are open about this. And I love that you are, and that you're just like, whatever, I don't feel a connection to it. And I think that's very honest.
I don't. And I don't know why. Maybe because my mom was so like anti-pink, like I don't need any of that stuff. But I've had like I don't feel a connection to it. I think I've talked before, like I'm not someone that you can ask, like, how do you honor your mom? And I'm like, well, every year we raise $5,000 for Think Pink. Like, that is so not me. It's just not my journey. And a lot of people, that is their journey. And I'm like, that's awesome. And that's a way to honor the person that passed away. But no, I'm not that cool.
No, I mean, I think that's totally fair. Each journey is your own, So good for you in owning it. I love it.
Yeah.
So another thing we're here to talk about today, the holidays are upon us.
Yes.
And the holidays really suck it out of you, let me tell you. And I'm sure that people that are listening understand that too. I want to hear from you what your experience is like, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. And then New Year's, I will say, I think was like the sneak attack of all holidays for me. I had no idea how badly that was going to affect me my first year. But I think what's going to be interesting for this conversation too. So first of all, I want to hear experiences with the holidays that you've had, ways that your family honors your mom or tries to kind of keep her alive for the holidays. And then I want to talk about this being really our first holiday with our children. My daughter was born right before Thanksgiving last year, but she was entirely too young to really get the whole experience. And also we were still in a pandemic. So we didn't have that. We didn't really, we weren't around family. We weren't really doing the gatherings. I wonder what it's going to be like this year, you know, like, is it going to be as tough as it's been other years for us now that it's going to have a whole new meaning? Or is the fact that we have these babies going to make it harder that our parents aren't here? So I'm like, I want to pull my hair out. I don't know what we're in for.
I know. More anxiety. Great. For the holidays, I'll start with like the holidays and how that's been the past few years. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I forgot. Do you have siblings? I totally forgot.
Only.
You're an only. Okay. So I have 2 younger brothers. So I'm the oldest. And I remember being like, okay, like Thanksgiving, my mom always hosts Thanksgiving. Like, oh, I will miss that food so much. Like the best. I have to make sure they have a Thanksgiving. We got to figure something out. I put way too much pressure on myself. And that's something I like to like make sure I preach is like, don't put too much pressure on yourself to recreate like your first year. I was like, well, my mom's not here to do it. I got to figure it out. And like, that's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
Be gentle with yourself. Just because, you know, your first year of grief, you're not doing some big thing for your parent or whoever died, doesn't mean the rest of the years are going to be like that. And I was like,
so right.
I was like, we got to start the traditions. We got to start the new ones. And it was too much.
I remember feeling that way around maybe my 3rd Christmas.
Okay.
Of like, okay, I think we hit our stride. The first one was, oh my God, we got to make sure we do everything right. We got to make sure we keep things going. The second year was, again, trying to figure it out. And by the 3rd year, I was like, you know what? It's different and that's okay. And we've made it work. And I feel like we settled into a good place of like, we're doing things for us, but also keeping him here. And it takes a few years, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something like I said, my first year, I like didn't talk to anyone about grief or anything. So I didn't know that was okay, but it totally is.
Yeah.
To honor her for the holidays, it's a lot of cooking, like the things that she would cook or like baking the dessert she would bake for Christmas. My mom made this like infamous coffee cake. Every year it was like, before we open presents, we all get a piece of coffee cake and we eat it while we're opening presents. Now it's really sweet. Me and my brother make the coffee cake the night before. Nice. Yeah. And that's what's so awesome. Like it's the littlest thing. It's baking a cake, but like that is our moment together to honor our mom and like just connect with each other and connect with her. And that's how it is. Like, it's perfect. It's literally perfect. Yeah. But I think, and I wanted to ask you this with the holidays, I'm married. Obviously you're married, sharing the holidays with like my husband's family. And I'm like, well, I feel like I should have all the holidays because my mom died. So we should be with my family. And that was really tough of like, just already feeling alone because my mom wasn't there. And then having, you don't have to, but it helps with the in-laws, like, to have Christmas with them or Thanksgiving with them. So that was tough for me.
So I will say